after. Yeah, make it, make a note
So
of
he
that.
doesn't have to look it up.
Oh, what's going on right here?
Mine not gonna work, so it's okay.
Oh,
You got a straw.
yeah, I'm just,
Oh, is this working?
no, I'm just gonna turn it off or something, because that'd be kind of.
Just throw it on the floor.
You might be having a seizure for looking
I
at
was just gonna say, I won't start twitching.
it.
Anyway.
There you go. It was better when it was on. Yeah, leave it like that.
Okay, cool.
Turn it upside down so you don't
That's
have to
okay.
look at it.
All right. It is now 6:30. I'm going to bring this meeting of the Lawndale City Council to order. I'm going to ask the city clerk to give us the roll call. Madam City Clerk.
Okay, good evening. Mayor Pro Tem Suarez.
Here.
Councilmember Kearney.
Here,
Councilmember Hoffman Gorman.
Here.
Councilmember Cuevas.
Here.
Mayor Pullen Miles.
Here.
All members are present.
All right, at this time, I'm going to ask Pastor Dwight Dooley from Calvary Chapel, South Bay, to lead us in a word of inspiration, followed by, let's do the flag salute first. We're going to do the flag salute first. And Councilman Pat Kearney will lead us in the flag salute, followed by the good pastor.
Please stand, place your right hand over your heart, no hats on the men, okay? Repeat along with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing.
How awesome is that? Back again, and I'm feeling like family. God is good to us, right? The earth is the Lord's and all of its fullness, the world and those who dwell within. For he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the waters. Father, I thank you for this council, and Lord, just the presence of this council and the things that they represent. Father, I pray that you bless them, lift them up, strengthen them, give them wisdom, knowledge, understanding, as they're here, not just to do your will, but to meet the people where they are, and to help them, and to minister to them, and to give them a city that is better every day. A city that is growing, its light shining, and becoming known to the community. So, Father, we look forward to seeing the things that are come out of this city, this meeting today, the community around it, and those, Father, that are here to serve. We thank you for our sheriff's department, fire departments, and for our city workers who are here taking care of the civilians and those who live here. We thank you that you've blessed us with such a wonderful sheriff's department who keeps the peace and watches over us. We're so grateful and thankful for them. The fire departments who keep an eye on us and help us in emergencies, especially out there on the road, coming here today as there was an accident and the fire departments were responding. We're so thankful to have them as part of our lives, and we ask you to bless them as well. So be with us today in this meeting, direct our thoughts, our paths, and help us to love one another. In Jesus' name, amen. Bless you
Amen.
guys.
Thank you, Pastor Dooley, for those words of inspiration. Thank you for being here tonight. Let's move along to our public safety report. Let's hear from our Captain Palomino.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, esteemed members of the City Council, and members of the community. I'm Nicole Palomino, the captain of South Los Angeles Station, and I'm here tonight to present the public safety report for April 2nd through April 15th. I will begin by discussing our notable arrests and investigations. On April 11th, at approximately 3:40 a.m., Lawndale deputies responded to the 15,000 block of Eastwood Avenue regarding gunshots heard in the area, as well as a suspicious male pacing around. The deputies located the suspect and discovered he had an unregistered firearm in his possession. He was arrested for various weapons violations and booked at South Los Angeles Station. Then on April 5th, at approximately 5 p.m., Lawndale deputies responded to the 4900 block of Marine Avenue regarding an animal abuse call for service. The deputies learned that a male assailant savagely killed the victim's cat and fled the location. The deputies located surveillance cameras that captured images of the suspect as well as his crime. Detective Dan Ramirez recognized the severity of the incident and immediately started his investigation. He worked tirelessly on the case and positively identified the suspect. The case was presented, on April 11th, Detective Ramirez located and arrested the suspect. The case was presented to the district attorney, who filed felony animal cruelty charges against the suspect. He is currently being held without bail. The investigation is ongoing, and everyone with information regarding this incident or similar incidents is encouraged to contact Detective Ramirez at 323-820-6700. Or, if you wish to remain anonymous, you can call Crime Stoppers at 800-222-8477. And then lastly, the City of Lawndale, in conjunction with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, will be hosting a neighborhood watch meeting on Tuesday, May 7th at 7 p.m. at 14700 Buren Avenue in Lawndale. This will be a great opportunity to make connections with other residents and speak to city and sheriff's department representatives about local issues. All Lawndale residents are invited and encouraged to attend. This concludes my report, and I would be happy to answer any questions the council may have.
Okay, are there any questions of the captain's report?
Just a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
My comment is congratulations to the sheriffs for such outstanding work on getting this cat killer off of our streets. For the life of me, I just believe that he was walking down Marine, probably heading to our lovely metro station, and stopped along the way and did this crime. My condolences go out to the family, our four-legged friends. They're our family. They're not just animals. And so I would encourage the public to continue and speak to the sheriff's department and bring it up if something as similar has happened, because we're hearing today there is a possible another incident with the same individual in the city of Lenox. So let's be vigilant and let's get this guy off of our streets. We don't need this in our city or in any of our surrounding areas. So thank you to the Sheriff's Department for helping us with that.
Thank you.
I would echo that. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain, for that report. Okay, now it's time for a presentation. We don't often make these presentations, but on special occasions when it's warranted, we are delighted to make such a presentation. Tonight, we're going to be making a presentation to Rolando Mendez. Rolando Mendez? I figured that was you, sir. Welcome, welcome. This is a certificate of commendation presented for exceptional acts of courage and bravery, awarded to Rolando Mendez. Earlier this year, Mr. Mendez went out for a walk. He stumbled upon a group of people vandalizing a local park in his neighborhood. With the potential of considerable risk to himself, he did not turn a blind eye to what was taking place before him, but instead made a tough decision and took direct action by confronting the suspects in this dangerous situation. His selfless devotion to his community, exhibited by his courage and bravery, resulted in law enforcement apprehension and arrest of suspects in these criminal acts, resulting in a safer community. With gratitude from all of us on the Lawndale City Council, we are pleased to present this certificate of commendation awarded to Rolando Mendez for his exceptional acts of courage and bravery. And we have a certificate. Mr. Mendez, if you can join us at the podium, we would like to take a picture with you and present you with this commendation.
Muchas gracias. ¿Y tú ayudaste a tu papi? Sí. Good job.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much.
He's also shaking.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And we want to just present you with this, yeah, there you go. All right, I like that. That's the way you do it. You got to get in there. Everybody's hand. With this accommodation, it's just to show our appreciation here in the city of Lawndale for getting involved. We know you didn't have to, but you got involved, and truly that makes our city a much safer city. So we want to thank you, and we want to appreciate you. Thank you. Let's hold it. Just a little bit. You want to hold it for me? You want to do that? Oh, okay. You want to do that? Okay, we can do that. We can do that too. That's fine. Now, did you show you?
Take it
Oh,
to
there you
school
go.
for show and tell. See my daddy got?
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, thank you.
You know how to do it, Bob, right? No, I don't do that.
No, he doesn't do that? Isn't that legit, it's popular?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you mean I can start putting my hair high again? Lots of hairspray.
Okay, now we are on oral communications. This is where you have the opportunity to speak to this body on items that are not on the agenda. If you'd like to speak to this body on items that are not on the agenda, you may do so at this time. If you line up by the flag. I see one customer, okay. That's my good friend, Haley, from the, when it becomes your turn, if you just approach, I got like a long speech I give before people come up. Now, you can say right there.
Thought you were ready.
If you approach the podium, you don't have to wait for your name to be called, just come to the podium when the person before you concludes. At about 2.5 minutes, the amber light will come on to give you the signal to start wrapping things up. Let's have our first speaker. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Lawndale
Good
City
evening.
Council. My name is Haley. I am a state representative, field deputy for Assemblymember Tina McKenna. I'm happy to be here. I am here to announce a event we're having this week for Earth Day in partnership with our very own Mayor Pullen Miles. We're having an Earth Day cleanup in partnership between the two and Caltrans. It will be this Friday, April 19th. We will be meeting at 8 a.m. at Charles Hopper Park. We will have a safety training first, and then we will go to the 405 off-ramp at Hawthorne, and we will do a cleanup there from 8 to 12. We ask that the community come out and support us, keep our Lawndale streets clean, and let's make an impact on our carbon footprint here and keep Lawndale clean. Hope you all can attend and show up. We also have a town hall that we're getting ready for that we will send to all Lawndale residents. That will be on May 1st. So check your email. You will get one in your email from the Assembly Member's office, as well as I just want to say thank you to our community activists here. They came and talked to us about the row and the line, the train line that will be going through there. So thank you all for stopping in our office, and we will keep that in consideration and talk with the council, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Oh, and if any members on the council are able to attend, please come. We're more than lovely to have you. Keep Lawndale clean, right?
Yes,
Come
ma'am.
on out.
Thank you. All right, yes, ma'am.
Hi, Chelsea Schreiber, 4702 West 163rd Street in Jackson. I'm not actually here about the train. I came here because I want to thank you guys and the beautification committee for the mural project for the electrical boxes. I am so excited about that. So that's why I came. The other thing is I have this booklet. If anybody would like to check it out, I'm going to give this one to you guys. If anybody wants one, let me know so I can get more printed. about the Green Line. And we went to Tina McKinner's office, was it last week? Last week to talk to her about the situation. And yeah, there's a couple meetings coming up. There's one on Wednesday, the Planning Commission, I think. And then there's another one happening on Thursday, Metro meetings. And then they just released an agenda item, and the agenda item has on the attachment is their recommendation, and they're changing their locally preferred recommendation, which is not locally preferred. It should be called Metro preferred option, because locally preferred, as you guys all know, is not going down the row. Their recommendation is hybrid row, and the hybrid row is trenching under 170th and 182nd, I think, as well. And we have actually a new engineer working with us who is younger and does a really great job with graphs, and he has determined that their information, as you guys all know, is not necessarily correct in many aspects, but specifically the timeline and the budget. And they've picked it apart and actually figured out ways that Metro has put these numbers together to specifically mislead people. So that is very interesting to me. When I came into this, I didn't know anything about government. I trusted Metro, I trusted everything, and now I trust nobody after I read into this and get more information. So we'll be releasing that information with our community group. Oh, and we also had a Zoom meeting on Saturday that had 75 attendees, local attendees. It was originally hacked by somebody from Torrance who put some porn on the screen. So we had to stop it and restart it and add waiting rooms, because I didn't know about waiting rooms. So yeah, we figured out who that individual was. He lives in Torrance, and there will probably be charges. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Dina, Lawndale resident. I've noticed a lot of signs just went up for 405 detours all over the place. I was wondering if you guys are going to put anything on your website. All of a sudden, I have no knowledge of what's going to go on with the freeways, but I know there's going to impact a lot of traffic. I don't understand the routes. They seem to have them all over the place. So I don't know if you guys are aware of what's going to happen from the 405 and all the surrounding streets, Hawthorne, Inglewood, I guess off-ramps mainly, Rosecrans, I don't know, but just like to know some more information on the detours and how that's going to impact traffic for a lot of people that probably aren't aware of it either. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Good evening. In the decade since I regularly started attending these meetings, transparency in Lawndale government has increased significantly. Previously, the agenda packets provided via email before the meetings only provided the agenda without the staff reports. Now the complete packets are provided on the city's website. Without cable, the only access to the council meetings was to attend. These are now broadcast on YouTube and available for viewing later. If you had a request for public records, one had to submit it to that department. Now, as it should be, is now centralized, and one submits a records request to the city clerk's office, who have been responsive and timely to my request. About 10 years ago, I, along with one other resident, attended a joint meeting with the city and the sheriff's department. Back then, the city wanted to keep a low profile in those activities that presented Lawndale in a bad light. Fortunately, those that have attended recent council meetings, the reports from the captain and staff provide a lot more transparency, such as crimes in the community, crime statistics, and response times. Unfortunately, this information is not readily available unless one attends or views the meetings online. Other cities, such as Manhattan Beach, post crime stats on its website. The county sheriff's website posts crime stats on its website, along with crime maps showing the locations of different crimes. But it takes a lot of online maneuvering to locate these stats. If Lawndale wants to increase its transparency, monthly summaries of crime activities in Lawndale should be provided by the city. The city manager correctly pointed out at the last meeting that Nextdoor has become a neighborhood watch alternative. That and other social media outlets provide information about the community immediately. While a few years ago, the council cut public speaking time from 5 to 3 minutes, Nextdoor has no such limitation. Nextdoor posts regarding Lawndale average between 3,000 to 6,000 views, with one reaching over 10,000 views by Lawndale and other South Bay residents. Lawndale Gnome, thank you, Chelsea, on Instagram has more than 8,500 followers and provides vital information about Metro. City of Torrance is updating its website Crime Map and provides weekly emails to its residents about city activities. Unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation on Nextdoor. A recent post from a Lawndale resident complained about having a lot of crime in our cities. However, from recent council meetings and the county sheriff's website, currently there is actually a decrease in crimes in Lawndale. Lawndale needs to respond to these comments by becoming more active in social media and having easily understandable crime summaries readily available to its residents. In 2020, Lawndale established a Media and Technology Advisory Committee. Has that committee ever met? The use of social media to spread information about crime patterns could provide immediate information and be more effective than periodic neighborhood watch meetings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. John Schreiber, Lawndale. I figure I'd just show my face at a meeting every so often because we haven't been here for a while, but obviously the big Metro decision seems to be imminent. I think, as you guys know, next week they are being presented with the locally preferred alternative at the committee level, and then we're not sure when they'll actually present it to the full board, but I hopefully the bus and everything is still on that you guys voted on a while back, which I appreciate, and I hope once we get that final date nailed down on when it's going to be presented to the board that you guys can help us spread the word about it and get as many Lawndale citizens there as possible, whatever their views are on it, one way or the other. Another interesting thing, we had a lot of dumping along the row in the recent weeks, and I know Chelsea contacted Metro about it, and there's dumping even on the Rolando side, and we even called the number on the Metro sign saying, call for illegal dumping, and when we did it, they were clueless as to what we were even talking about. You know, this is their property, and the response was, well, that's Lawndale's responsibility. They clean up our row for us, and we'll go clean up the Redondo side. So it seems ridiculous to me that, I mean, kudos to the Public Works for, they clean it up fast. They do a good job, but why are we cleaning up Metro's property for them? That seems ridiculous. And what does that say if they are going to build their green line through here, how well they're going to maintain their property? So that's all I had to say today, but I hope, we have your continued support when this big Metro vote comes up. So thanks.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we will close public comments and bring up to the diocese for any comments from the council. Let's hear from the question. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out and speaking. Also, those who are watching us. Sean, do we have any information on the 405 detours?
Yes, Mayor. Council asked Ahmad to come up and explain. We have a project that received the encroachment permit. Ahmad, can you come up and explain? He's been out there several times on the 405 improvement, and I'll let him explain.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of City Council. What Caltrans is doing is basically working on the on and off ramps, some landscaping work. Also, the center median right underneath the bridge within their right of way, they're doing some improvements. If you may have noticed, there are a lot of plants, right there, and they're working, removing all the old stuff and putting some new stuff. So as a result of, the work that they need to do in the median, they had to take one lane, the inside lane on either side of the median. And of course, it is nature of this type of work that they do need that space. They put K-rails. They probably could have done a better job as far as the detour signs, here and there, a few blocks away from the project. So we are currently looking into it. The work area itself is reasonable. It does bottleneck to traffic, but, in our mind, the drivers need to know in advance, a few blocks away so that they can avoid the area. So we are looking into that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And the last thing is there any way we could put our crime stats either on the website or on social media?
Yes, Mayor, Council, I'll look into that, and we'll put up the captain's recent information she provided. We'll put it on the web pages and social.
Okay, and the last thing is, we're still providing the bus to the residents of Lawndale to
That's
go to
correct,
Metro?
Mayor. That's correct, Mayor and Council. We still have that. I'll get with staff and we'll start reserving those now since we know the meeting's coming up in May.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Hoffman-Gorman, Councilman.
I'll just quickly say to Chelsea and to John, Metro and not correct? That's kind of interesting. And Metro and clueless? Man. Who knew? Thank you for keeping up with Metro and the issues going on there. And you're right, John. That telephone number on there is ridiculous when they're kind of like going, what? What? What are they going to leave us with? Regardless of if it goes down Hawthorne Boulevard or the Row, no matter what, Lawndale loses. And that's all there is to say about it because they're not going to keep the area up. They're not going to know it even exists. They'll drop us like a hot potato. Randall, that crime report, I'm all about transparency, and I think that it should be posted everywhere. And I think that it, in conjunction with Neighborhood Watch, would be a really good thing for our community. I know that the captain provided us with a really nice report we appreciated seeing, and I shared it with a couple of residents, and they were in agreement. We actually are in better shape than what we thought we were, as far as the people that I spoke to. And really, our biggest problem has to do with cars. It's grand theft and it's the break-ins into cars. So, not that that's a good thing, but I really thought we had more things going on. And those types of crimes, I think we can make a difference with a neighborhood watch. So, thank you for bringing it up. I'm in complete agreement. I also think that everybody should be able to see what's going on around us. That's all I have.
Okay, Councilman Kearney.
My turn. I just want to thank everybody that came out to support tonight. Haley already left, but on the 20th is Lawndale Volunteer Cleanup Day. So I'll be at that one, not the Metro one. I don't believe anything Metro says. Caltrans, so part of it. Dina, I agree with you on the detours. I debated with the city manager, there was nothing there. You cross Hawthorne Boulevard and then you run into it. If you were to live on 160th on the east side of Hawthorne and you came across west and turned into that third lane there used to be, today I was traveling to, well, down with the Galleria, 2 cars turned into that lane and they couldn't get out because it was all blocked off. So I'm going to tell you straight up, they did a crappy job, I'll say crappy job, of letting people know that they're doing work. And my understanding, I thought they were retrofitting those pillars there,
Yeah, that's part of it.
not just putting plants in. And then the dumping, I think we have a contract with Metro about picking up all the garbage on.
Mayor and
the
council,
road.
we maintain through Mariposa for many decades, quite a few decades, as well as pick up any bulky items and trash that's dumped on the right of way.
Is it a lease with Metro that we do it, or the train, or is it responsibility of Lawndale, what I'm
It's
asking?
the responsibility of Lawndale, and we have like a memorandum of understanding with Metro.
Okay, and that's another one I was gonna ask you. Oh, their decision to make trenching from 170th to 182nd, don't they have to produce the EIR before they can make any decisions, even the wish list?
So without getting into all the great details of the EIR, they would have to fully mitigate any proposed impacts, and any alternatives, all have to review and analyzed and looked at in the EIR. So we'd have to look at that. I believe they did provide some information related to the trenching component, but I'd have to look at it again. But we did make comments on all the elements.
I remember that, yeah.
Alternatives, yes.
Okay, that's it, Robert.
Thank you. Madam Pro Tem.
I would like to thank everybody that came out. My colleagues took all my questions, so I'll pass it along.
Thank you. I too want to thank everyone for coming out. Chelsea mentioned the utility boxes. Yeah, we're excited. Where is she? She left. Okay, there's John. I'm gonna speak to you, John. We're excited about the utility boxes as well. I was actually in can't remember if it was Manhattan Beach or another city, just recently, and they have some beautiful utility boxes and what have you. So I think that's going to be a great addition to spruce up the community, give it some even more character. So thanks for noticing that. And also, thank you for all your hard work, obviously, everyone's hard work on this metro issue. We're coming to a head, here. What is this, like 20 years or so in the makings. And hopefully our voices will be heard for as metro decisions is concerned. But I want to thank you, Chesley, and all the folks on the Right to Say for keeping us abreast of the issues, because really, your voices are actually louder than the voices of the elected officials. Because what are you dealing with on the Metro Board? You have a group of elected and appointed officials. So they know that, it has more weight when it comes from the community, right? Because elected officials, they have whatever their reason is for supporting or opposing a project. It is what it is. But they know when you hear from the community itself, that gives more validity to it in this kind of instance or what have you. So for you guys to track way out to the Metro headquarters and give your testimonies every time they have a meeting, for the last few years, that's really commendable. And I want to thank everyone for being involved. Everyone can't make it all the time when they have those meetings, but the fact that someone is there representing Lawndale and representing the community is to be commendable, and I want to thank you guys for that. We're going to continue to press on. With that, I also want to mention, we didn't mention the road sign. I was confused, not necessarily by the road signs, but it looked like right by the overpass, underpass on Hawthorne, it looked like they was reducing a lane. Yeah. I couldn't tell if the lane was being reduced or not. Even though I walked that way all the time, and never really thought about it until my wife asked me, are they reducing the lane? It looked like, okay. So when I took my walk Sunday, I noticed and said, well, it does look like you might be reducing the lane. So I wasn't really sure if they had just restriped, and I never noticed it, and now that it's fresh, you notice it. You know how when you get a fresh coat of paint, you kind of notice things that you may have not noticed before, right? Or if they actually was reducing it, the lanes or what have you. But I was told that they are not reducing the lanes. I hope that's the case, but it was kind of hard to tell, and that was just walking. I mean, I could imagine if you're driving, it might be even more confusing. So thank you for some clarification on that. With that, I won't speak to the other issues that has already been spoken of. I'll wrap up my comments, and as they say, I'll land my plane there. I've been wanting to use that phrase for years. Yes, ma'am.
One quick thing. Thank you, John, for that video that you did with the drone. It's, everybody should be watching that on Instagram or all the social media that you posted them. It's a very nice video.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, with that, we will turn the agenda to item G, which is our consent calendar. Right? What is it? What is the pleasure of this body concerning?
Motion to approve.
Okay, it's been motion that we approve by Cuevas and seconded by Kearney, the consent calendar. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, would the council please vote?
For the consent calendar, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Next item under administration, item 5, a quarterly investment report.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and council members. So this is the quarterly investment update for Q3 2024 ending March 31, 2024. So the city has total cash and investments of $57,426,707 plus $2,396,707 with cash with fiscal agent held in trust for the 2009 RDA bonds, $1,150 in petty cash, and $733,988 in two PARS retirement accounts. Interest rates from the beginning of the year through March basically have remained stable. The Fed has not increased or decreased. There was talks of decrease, but inflation numbers are still way too high for them to cut rates. So it stayed fairly stable Most of the rates we're able to get are, right in the 5% range, so that's kind of where we're shooting for, and that's what we've been able to invest in. Looking at the LAIF rates, which has about 25 million in LAIF. Looking at a year ago, we were at 2.88%, and it's at 4.22 now. So, you can see rates have really gone up quite a bit, and it's good and bad because inflation is high, so the rates are staying high. But at the same time, it's a good time to be investing because interest rates are so high. So we are getting good returns on our money right now. The city continues to remain very liquid with 86% in on-call deposits, which is basically, the checking account and LAIF. Other than that, we have 7.6% in short-term investments, which is less than 1 year. 4.2% in medium-term investments, which are 1 to 3 years, and then 1.7% in long-term, 3 to 5 years. Going forward, looking at kind of increasing the medium and long term just so we can try to lock in some of these rates for a longer period of time, taking advantage of that, since they are about the 5% range. So we're looking to do that as well. Just a little bit about looking forward. We have been investing. Me and Sean have been going back and forth. We have been picking up some CDs, some more agency bonds because we're able to lock in about 5%. Some of them are giving good call protection, so we're getting those locked in for about 1 to 2 years. So we're doing very well on that. There are going to be some more, if you look at the details of it, we have about 7 more CDs maturing in June, July. So we will be looking at replacing those and possibly adding more because right now we were able to get a little bit 5% and above. So we're in a good position right now. But obviously Sean and myself look at this closely. I look at it almost daily to make sure that everything is on the right track and everything is doing well. And that concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you for that report. Any questions of the
I have one.
report?
You know I'm a numbers guy. On the first paragraph staff review, you said you have cash and investments cost at $57,426,707 plus $2,396,707.
Yes.
Shouldn't that have read 59, almost 60 million instead of that? Or should that be including? Is that plus?
It is plus. The 57 million is what's in our checking account and LAIF basically. And then the 2.3 million is cash held with the fiscal agent. So it's not in our checking account directly, but this is a requirement for the bonds that were done several years ago. So that's what that is.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions of the report? Okay, with that, we will
It's a receive and file.
receive and file this report. Without any objection, we will receive and file this report. Thank you, Madam Finance Director, Mr. Finance Director, for the report. Next item is approval of amendment to the City Manager Employment Agreement. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Felton, the Deputy City Manager, and I have put together an amendment to Mr. Moore's employment agreement. This comes after a positive review for Mr. Moore in 2023, following 1 year of service, when no amendment was made for a variety of reasons, and a second positive review this past month. The amendment would do the following things. It will increase Mr. Moore's salary to a total of $254,869 a year, which is benchmarked against local city managers. It would include an American Rescue Plan Act one-time non-personable payment of $3,000 to match that already given to the city's management team as well as city employees in the bargaining unit. And it would reflect the recent benefit changes that occurred with the bargaining unit and the city central management team. There's one final change that's reflective of Mr. Moore's prior service to the city in a CMT level role, and that is restoration of certain sick or certain leave hours. Had Mr. Moore returned to service with the city on the same date he did, but in a non-city manager role, that would have been automatically restored. The only reason it wasn't was due to his return at this level. And after discussion, we present to you essentially the same restoration that he would have had if he had come back as a director. If you have any questions, both Ms. Felton and myself are here to respond, but that is what is in front of you, sir, and council.
Thank you for that report. Is there any discussion on this item, the city manager's employment agreement?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to make a comment. No questions, but a comment. For me, at this time, I will not be voting to approve this. I do believe that Sean is passionate about this job, and he takes it very seriously. However, for me, the increase is substantial, and I do understand that it was researched with other city managers, but for me, I would have felt more comfortable with incremental increases. And I am my mother's daughter, and it's just, when it comes to some of these raises, the 20% raise to me is pretty big. And I'm just being conscientious of the budget that's to come, and I really hope we don't have to cut any city services or anything. So for me, I'm not comfortable voting on that.
Thank you for those comments. Any other comments?
Do you need a motion?
Yeah, if there's not any further comments, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the staff recommendation.
I'll second it.
So the motion's been made by Councilman Pat Kern that we accept the staff recommendation, and seconded by Councilwoman Hoffman Gorman. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, with the council, please vote.
For item number 6, the motion passes with Mayor Pro Tem Suarez voting no.
Thank you. Next item is item 7. Approve the first amendment to the contract service agreement for the Lawndale Security Improvement Project.
Good evening again, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. I'm Ad Ansari, Public Works and City Engineering. The item before you requests the City Council to approve a first amendment to the contract services for Lawndale security improvements. I'm not going to bore the council with the background of this project. The council awarded a contract to Amtech Total Security sometime back. The existing cameras in almost all the facilities are outdated. The cameras don't have the proper range and clarity. So the scope is to design and install a little over 30 cameras, good cameras, high quality, for City Hall, Public Works, Sheriff Station, as well as MSD. So there were, everything is designed. There were some issues in ordering and getting the material. There were some delays. We were told that the material are going to be delivered soon, and installation is going to happen early part of March, which only will take 2 weeks, to do all the installation for the facilities. The current agreement with the company expires on May 31st. So basically, we're asking the City Council to extend the contract until the end of the year with no fiscal impact until the material is all delivered, the cameras, and installed.
So you said March, did you mean May?
May. I said, did I say March? My apology, May 31st. And basically, the budget is going to be carried over. There won't be impact to the current budget.
Any other comments? Yes, ma'am.
Are they giving us any credit or anything since we signed an agreement way back and they couldn't deliver?
Well, I think the circumstances have been beyond their control. They had some issues in delivery of the material, but we can certainly have a dialogue with the contractor.
I mean, we were ready and
Right.
we signed the agreement. They're
Correct.
the ones delaying
Correct.
the work, so.
We can certainly have a discussion with the contractor.
Okay, any other discussion on this item? Okay, what is the pleasure of this body concerning this recommendation?
If there's no more questions, I make a motion to go to staff recommendation.
Okay, the motion's been made by Kearney that we go with the staff recommendation.
I'll second
And
that.
seconded by Cuevas. Any discussion on the motion? The council, please vote.
For item number 7, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 8 is amendment to the fiscal year 2024-25 CDBG budget allocation.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. This item is an amendment for fiscal year 2024-2025 CDBG budget allocation. The streets on the staff report, 165th, 171st, and 173rd, highlighted in red, are no longer going to be funded by CDBG. However, staff is requesting to start working on these streets with Measure M and SB1 funds instead of CDBG. The fiscal year 2024 and 2025 streets will now be changed to the following: Mansell, Grevillea, and 159th. That will be to better utilize CDBG funds, which will ultimately be more cost effective. If you have any questions from staff, Public Works and Community Development, myself, we work together in the staff report, and we're available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Any questions on this item? What is the pleasure of this body concerning item 8?
I'll go with staff recommendation.
Okay, the motion's been made by Councilman Pat Kearney that we go with staff recommendation.
I'll second
And
it.
seconded by Councilwoman Hoffman-Gorman. Is there any discussion on the item? Will the council please vote on the motion?
For item number 8, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Let's have our city manager's report. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We kind of discussed it a little bit, the Caltrans work, so I'll get with staff again, and we'll look at seeing if we can get with Caltrans and provide additional detour signs and information for the public. I've heard several comments from different residents in the council. Maybe we need to talk to Caltrans about putting something on Manhattan Beach and 162 area so they know not to get in the bottleneck on Caltrans. Again, we're going to work on, staff's going to attend the April 17th Metro meeting, and then thereof schedule the buses for the big meeting with Metro Board. I know we still have that on board. I think that's all I have this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that report. Let's have reports, or what do we call this? Information that you'd like to share from the council. Let's start with Councilwoman Cuevas.
Okay, on April 5th, I attended via Zoom the Lawndale Neighbors Fighting Metro Virtual Neighborhood Q&A. They spoke about them meeting Tina McKinnon, staff. Originally, the meeting was supposed to be with Tina, but she never showed up. So the residents ended up speaking to her assistant. Feedback was pretty good. At the beginning, they had a little bit of pushback, but at the end, it seems like Tina's McKinnor's office understood what they were there for. On 4/7, I attended the South County Labor Raymond Cordova Celebration of Life Memorial. Well attended by a lot of dignitaries that Ray Cordova touched their lives in some way. It was really nice memorial. And then on the 13th, this past Saturday, I attended Los Angeles Sheriff Department Contract City Council Academy at the EVOC North Training Center. And I was able to drive a couple of their cars. It was a very interesting 6 hours out in Castaic. We got to drive the SUV and do a chase on their tracks, so they work really hard, and one driver answering the radio, paying attention in front of who's crossing. I recommend if there's ever an opportunity for residents to attend these trainings, it would be a good experience. And I appreciate all their hard work, all the Sheriff Department hard work that they do for us. That would be all.
Very good. Yes, ma'am. Hoffman Gorman.
I also attended that Metro Zoom meeting on that Friday evening. It's very informative, and I applaud the residents of Lawndale of putting that together. And if anybody is out there and looking to be part of that Zoom meeting, I'm sure if they contact City Hall, that could be helped with that particular group that is working hard to make the right decisions for Lawndale moving forward with the Metro. That being said, I had a couple of items that I wanted to bring up this evening. One of them is, and this is not something that I expect back immediately, but I'd like to start a conversation pertaining to a low-cost or no-cost neuter or spade clinic or both, and to find out if there's monies available, maybe with grants or something, that maybe something like this could happen. I know it would look like something like for Lawndale residents only, and it would have to have a cap probably for how many animals could be done at a certain time. But with as many issues that we have with our animals being outdoors, and now we have to worry about coyotes and things like that, maybe it's time that we look to reduce the population by not encouraging more growth. That was number one. So I'd like to see us gather some information and see if that would be something that Lawndale could be involved in.
Mayor, council will look into that.
And the next thing that I have been approached on, and I have mixed feelings on it, but I'm going to say it out loud. In years past, we have made sure that our house numbers are painted on our curbs. In this day and age, with parking the way it is in our communities, you can't hardly even see the painting on the curb. But it has been asked of me, is it a possibility, or why are we not painting any longer our numbers on our curbs, or if the city is going to do something to assist us with that for safety reasons?
Mayor, council, I'll need to look into that. I know the house numbers are the typical, what the public safety goes by, but I could definitely look into this and get back to you and report back.
Yes, and I just want to remind the public that we're just a couple weeks away. On the 27th, we're going to be having that Lawndale Youth Day Parade. So everybody come on out and enjoy the kids of Lawndale as they parade our streets. And also a reminder that the cleanup week starts this. It started already. It's this week through the 21st. So we're in the middle of it. Get our stuff out of our out of our garages and get it to the curbs so that we don't have so much stuff around our locations. And maybe we could even park an extra car in our driveway and in our garage if we cleaned it out enough. So that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Peck.
Okay, I attended the senior Easter spring lunch at the senior center. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm a senior. I don't know if you can tell.
No, we couldn't.
So I went there for lunch, took my spouse, and we had a great time. I attended the Library Trust Oversight Committee. Again, we paid out a few dollars on accidents caused by sheriff deputies. I also attended the Contract City Council Academy, or I like to call it AVOC. And we had, we went The first event was, they'd give you a time you have to hit the speedometer, then you coast and you hit this line, and then you have, look at this light straight ahead, and whatever light turns green, that's what you have to go to. Well, I did, well, Shirley did very well. The last 40 mile an hour one, I missed it, so I went right down the middle. I took everybody out.
You took everyone out?
I took them out. I did knock any cones over, but everybody else got knocked out. And then the second event was I call it the water slide, but they're gonna pick up on. It's where you drive an SUV in this little lake, well, pond or whatever it is, and you have to maneuver spin outs and everything. Well, I think we did a darn good job, Shirley. At the end of the thing, I was making my own course because I couldn't follow the course. And then I started to get in the SUV to do the pursuit chase. I put my goggles on, I put my scarf on, and they kicked me out of the car. Because I was, trained to, if you got to catch someone to be somewhere, you go from point A to point B, not all these winding circles you just kind of crossed. But anyway, we had a great time, and I was teasing the sheriffs there because what they bring in the morning? Donuts. And they're notorious about eating donuts in the morning. With that, I'll pass it on. Oh, and don't forget, on the 20th is Volunteer Cleanup Day. It's a day after, who is it, Tina McKinnon, or somebody's having their soiree on the Metro right away.
Mm-hmm.
So I recommend our people do the 20th, not the 19th. With that, I'll close.
Okay, thank you, sir. Madam Pro Tem.
I only had a couple. I did briefly attend the senior Easter spring lunch. They always have very good entertainment. And then on April 8th, I attended the South Bay Cities Council of Government Steering Committee. It's basically the committee that sets the agenda for the regular meeting. And then I did just want to make note that, because there were several requests from residents about the community center, we are going to talk about the budget. The subcommittee is going to meet April 30th. So from there, we'll have a bigger meeting with the full council about what we propose. And with that, I'll pass it along.
Thank you. I attended the regular meeting of the Los Angeles County Sanitation District. This is a board. It's not, it's not a lot of, sexiness going on at the water board for sanitation is concerned. But there is one issue that's coming up, and that's where we're proposed increase for sewer fees. I don't have a lot about it enough to have an in-depth conversation on it, but at first look, I am opposed to it because of the healthy reserves that the water district has. I mean, I forget the actual number, but it's an unbelievable reserves. And so I'm of the opinion, along with a few other of the directors, that we should, even though the cost to maintain the sewers system has slightly increased, I think we should be using some of the funds in the reserves that we could use those for quite a number of years to provide relief before we even think about rate increase, for sewer. So that's something that's coming down the line. We just had kind of a briefing on it at the last meeting, and so I'm going to be looking at that closely and bringing that information back. Of course, if we do decide to, the board as a whole decides to increase the rates, of course, that would be subject to, I believe it's Proposition 218, or maybe it's 219. But under that proposition, there's basically a number of steps that you have to do, noticing the public and give the public a chance to weigh in on the rates, the proposed rates or what have you. So I'll be keeping my eye on that and bringing that back soon. I also attended the Lawndale Neighborhood Metro meeting as well. That was a pretty good meeting, just keeping everyone, abreast of the issues with Metro there. I did a presentation, I participated in a roundtable concerning housing for the Los Angeles, I hope I'm getting their name correctly, Los Angeles Realists Association, not Realtors, but Realists Association. It's a group of real estate agents, basically, similar to the Realtors Association. They had a roundtable for housing, so I participated in that along with about 3 other mayors, as well as a community development director in the city of Inglewood, from the city of Inglewood. Lastly, I also attend the celebration of life for Raymond Cordova. He was the chair of the South County Labor, which is an organization that's dedicated to labor issues and organizing and protecting the rights of workers. And so we had a great celebration in honor of Raymond Cordova. Lastly, I wanted to bring to the attention, I did ask the city manager, and he's looking into this, possibly using some ARPA funding, funds to start a rebate program for homeowners who buy here in the city of Lawndale home improvement, whether they're doing roofing or they're doing flooring or anything that's going to improve their homes, rather than going outside the city and purchasing. Because we know, like for instance, Westwood Builder is one of our highest gross revenue generators for its taxes. And then of course you have the Cook's Windows and Doors, you have Lucky Glass. And then we have a couple of smaller operators that do flooring or what have you. And I thought it would be something interesting to see if we could offer some type of rebate, because I noticed, like for instance, the water districts give rebates if you buy synthetic turf, or drought tolerant, materials or what have you. Sometimes even the gas, not the gas company, but the Southern California Edison may give a rebate if you buy certain energy efficient appliances or what have you, refrigerators or what have you. So I thought maybe we could look into doing the same to encourage homeowners to do those upgrades on their home, and at the same time save them a few bucks because they bought here in Lawndale. And I think it may balance itself out, because as you know, when you buy in Lawndale, the taxes that are generated stay here in Lawndale. So let's say if a homeowner saved whatever percentage, the city's still getting the taxes from it, rather than if they went to, Home Depot or Lowe's or somewhere else outside the city or what have you. So he's looking into that for me. So we'll bring you more information on that. And that's all I have under items from the mayor and city council. And with that, we don't have any closed sessions tonight. Okay. That's it.
I missed about 3 minutes.
And then we're gonna let the clock run out. No, I'm just playing. With that, we have exhausted our agenda, and I'm almost beside myself. Like, what do you do now, right? Okay, so the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Lawndale City Council will be held at 6:30 p.m. on Monday, May 6, 2024, in these here council chambers. It's now 7:33. We are adjourned. Oh, you missed it? Well, that's fine.